Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be talking about this crazy foster mom I had. She was like super religious. She was like anti-LGBTQ. This is crazy. It all started out when I was in another foster home and I kept bouncing around foster homes because I was new to the system. The first day we went shopping for clothes and we ate food together. She was just really trying to get to know me. The first day was a lot of orientation and a lot of just trying to get me comfortable in the home. And I'm gonna be so honest, she acted totally different once I got acclimated. The first day, she was really sweet, trying to make sure I got everything that I needed. And I didn't think that there was going to be anything wrong with the home. I was new to the system. I thought that she was going to be amazing and awesome. And I want to tell y'all that not every foster home is like this. There are foster homes out there that are loving. There are foster homes out there that are supportive, but this is just my experience. So if you're either going into the system or if you've been in the system and you haven't had like experience like this, I want to let you know that this is just my experience and not anybody else's. Just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, getting back into it, the first day was awesome. It was amazing. Going down the line, like a month, I started noticing some red flags. Number one is she was like heavily religious. She was Pentecostal Christian, and right now I'm an omnist. For all of y'all that are wondering what an omnist is, here's the definition. It's just the respective belief in all religion. But back then I was into witchcraft and I'm still into witchcraft, but I was like deeply, heavily Wiccan. So I told her that and she didn't have the best response. She said, well, Jesus loves you. Jesus will save you, X, Y, and Z. You'll change your mind when you're done with this home. Just want to say that if you're going to have a kid in your home with a different religion and you're not going to be open, don't be a foster mom. Anyway, and so I was like, okay, maybe she's in like shock, like culture shock, something like that. And so I tried my hardest to just push it aside. That was wrong. That was the wrong thing to do. Now, touching back on some other topics other than religion, I was mostly, with all my foster families, I was closeted. Back then I identified as trans masc. And I didn't really tell anybody except my family and maybe a few friends, especially because of the area I was in. The area I was in, if you told people that you were like LGBTQ or anything, you were either gonna get bullied or fought, or there's a lot of like homophobia where I was. So I was also scared of letting people know that because I was scared of my safety. So I did identify with the LGBTQ community. I was just really scared to say that because maybe I could have had an issue. Okay, so when I got there, I noticed that I wasn't the only kid in the house. I had another person there. I'm just gonna call her Eminem. She was adopted by my foster mom, and she was adopted since she was a baby because her parents couldn't take care of her. So me and her kind of like clicked right at the beginning, and she was super sweet. We had to share a room. So I had my side, she had her side, and we like would watch TV together and we would make bracelets and stuff. And she was 1 year older than me. At the time I was 12. So she was 1 year older than me. I was there for a year and some change. So I was able to really get to know her. If I saw her today, I would run up to her and give her the biggest hug, because I'm pretty sure that we both have moved on and have tried to achieve higher things, and we were definitely struggling at the time in that home. At least I was. Can't say what her feelings were, but I honestly, I loved her. And we did argue, but that's what, siblings do. She was also in the LGBTQ community, I believe. She was, Eminem, I think, was bi. Yeah, Eminem was bi. But she was closeted because she was scared of my foster mom finding out and trying to convert her. So, we kind of had to be a little bit closeted in that situation, but at least we had each other. And I remember when she came out to me, obviously I accepted her because I'd be like, we're both the same. So I literally miss her so much, and I love her. Eminem, if you're watching this, I love you, girl. Anyways, so going back to the situation, I was in middle school and I was going to school. Honestly, that was my escape. I didn't really make any friends because I was embarrassed of being in foster care. It was also really hard for me to make friends because people in the past have ruined relationships, and so I was scared of making new ones because I just trust, man. So anyways, I didn't really have any friends to go to. I had my grandma, which is who I'm currently living with now. But honestly, I really had nobody. I was a lonely kid back in middle school. So I honestly, I couldn't see why home life was unpleasant. And I didn't have any technology either, only my school Chromebook. And she would take that too. It actually eventually got to the point where she told my school to not let me leave with my Chromebook and to keep it at the school. And then I'd have to go and pick it up every morning in the office and bring it to classes with me. The only thing I really had was a landline. I only got an hour of landline time a day. She would turn the Wi-Fi off at night. Eminem did end up getting a phone, but then Eminem got that taken away. So that was kind of, and they would be on FaceTime all the time. They would just, because they have friends. And they did have friends. They'd have friends come over and everything. But it always felt like, even though their friends, they weren't dating them, it felt like I was the third wheel because we weren't like that. We weren't like that. So I just really felt really lonely. I did have one friend. Not gonna say her name. She was a next door neighbor. Really, really sweet. I'm telling you, she was literally the sweetest girl ever. I loved her. Her family loved me. I would go over and she would feed me because I would get really hungry, and her mom would feed me and stuff because at where I was, we only had scheduled meal times and stuff. So it was really, really hard for me to not eat when there's food right in front of me. We'd go over and we'd make smoothies and drink smoothies together. I'd go up and onto her room and we'd watch YouTube on her computer and listen to music, and she was the sweetest girl ever. So eventually, when I did leave, I felt so free. I did. One of the other things, oh my gosh, church. She would make me go to church every single Sunday. We'd have to clean it. We were the only ones that cleaned the church. She'd make me go and clean the church with her, and I'd have to do something. And if I didn't, I guess I'd just be treated as stingy. I'd get stingy treatment the entire week until I helped clean again. And okay, when I went to the church, I have issues, I have ADHD, so sitting there with my hands in my lap in a little cute little dress, having to stand when I have to, like, nobody wants to do that. I mean, like, well, people want to do that, but not me. I don't want to do that. And especially it was against my religion. I didn't feel comfortable. Told her I didn't feel comfortable in therapy. Then I'd get, like, silent treatment. Or she'd be like, you're on my last nerve. And I'd be like, okay. Now, one of the other reasons why I went to church is because afterwards, we'd go to the buffet. This is like, if you go to church, you get to go to the buffet. So I mean, like, hey, skip church and get a cold peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or go to an all-you-can-eat buffet with, like, so much, I was going, but there was a point where I didn't even care about the buffet anymore, and I cared about my comfortableness, and eventually I did bring it up, and I started getting day visits with my grandmother on Sundays, specifically at church time. So my grandma would pick me up at the church because we'd have to go at like 8 o'clock in the morning because my foster mom was on the quote unquote praise team, which means that she would sing. So I would have to go anyways, but I'd wait outside, which is not a good idea in Hartford, especially the part of Hartford we were in. And so I would go with my grandma and we'd just do whatever, and I would skip church and I'd get, like, whatever food I wanted, X, Y, and Z, and I would be able to get to, like, talk to my old friends, and I'd be able to have fun, and I would come back. Okay, now eventually when I came back, I'd come with clothes. I'd come back with clothes, and my foster mom would throw a hissy fit. She said, you can't have those clothes in my house. And it's not even like I was having too many clothes. I would swap out clothes. So if I brought 5 shirts with me to my grandma's, I would bring back 5 shirts. She had an issue with me wearing, like, certain kinds of clothes. They covered me. There was no belly showing. There was no cleavage, nothing showing. And she had an issue with me wearing, like, certain clothes. She bought me certain clothes. Now, if they weren't bought from her, I couldn't wear them. Now, that's where the issue came in. And then, so after that issue, she said that she doesn't want my grandmother on her property. Now, the first visit that I had that happened, I had to go to meet her at the store kind of thing. Like, there was a store like 1 mile down the road, and my grandma would meet up with her. Now, the first night that happened, my foster mom didn't show up. She was out busy doing something else. So my grandma drove me back and waited on the side of the road so it wasn't on her property. That's the night I ran away. So what happened is I came with a bag of clothes, like I always do, would swap out, didn't really care what she would say, swap them out anyways. And she was like, you're not bringing that in that house, give that back to your grandma. I took my stuff, threw down the clothes, went to my room, threw down the clothes, grabbed everything I could, and ran away. Went to the nearest playground, went on a swing, and I ended up having a seizure on a swing, so I ended up in the emergency room. And so I did end up going back after a nice long visit in the mental hospital. I ended up going back, and yeah, the same cycle repeated, except it was worse. This time, she removed everything from my room. All I had was a bed, a door, a TV, on the ground, and that's it. My closet was locked, and she'd lock my door when I wasn't home. And then if she wasn't home, I wasn't allowed in my room. There was only special times that we were able to watch the TV downstairs, and she took like basically all my strings away from me. I only could wear shoes with slip-on shoes. I could only wear shorts and a t-shirt. It was summer anyways, who cares? And yeah, I ended up leaving that house eventually by having to be admitted into the ER again for psychiatric reasons. And she just ended up saying I can't take them back, and I said okay, I don't care. You know, me being a little bit defiant growing up. But in the end, it was good riddance, or I guess the flipped version of that. There was a lot more stuff that happened in that house, but for viewer discretion reasons, I will not say the things that happened. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope that you all have a lovely day or night. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I guess that's it. Bye!